The manner of death has to do with the circumstances under which Mr. O'Keefe sustained those injuries.
Right.
And I did not have
clear.
enough information to be able to determine whether those injuries were accidental or not.
Right. It's
And
unclear.
And just from the spectrum that you had just talked about, the 5 different manners of death, you did not determine that this was either or natural causes, correct?
Correct.
And so as
we
far as
ruled
your
those out.
determination of manner of death, which of the 2 were you?
Obviously, between homicide and
Two
accident.
manners of death that remain are accident and homicide.
May I approach?
Isn't that where everybody's at?
You notice multiple lacerations on his nose.
Yes.
Multiple abrasions on his nose.
Correct.
You notice a laceration to his tongue.
Yes.
You noted the contusions on the back of his right hand.
Correct.
The injury, the contusion to his left hand as well.
Correct.
And as you just testified, bruising on the back of hands may be consistent with defensive wounds.
It could be.
The laceration to the eye and the 2 abrasions that we see there on his nose.
Correct.
And you agree that those injuries don't just manifest out of nowhere, right?
Absolutely.
They have to originate from something.
Yes.
Would you agree that his injuries to his face are consistent with having been punched?
That is a possibility.
The problem is there's too many possibilities, right? When too much is possible, that's just kind
Your
of
internal
the definition
examination
of
notes
doubt.
also cite
Your truck, is there one that's specifically assigned to you?
Yes,
And does that truck have any particular nickname?
yes, it's called the Franken truck.
And why is it called the Franken truck?
It is a truck that has a lot of different parts than what it's required.
Oh, this guy is so precious.
Where is your attention focused, sir?
On the one.
My attention's focused in front of me and then to the sides.
Why would your attention be focused to the sides?
I am trying to be aware of any side traffic, any pedestrians, and God forbid, any animals.
I like how he's looking for pedestrian and God forbid the animals. Like animals are more important than humans to him. Good man.
Now, in fact, when you first spoke to this individual named Paul, you didn't tell him it was a Ford Edge, correct?
Nope, told him it was Ford Edge.
You didn't tell him first that it was a small SUV?
Nope, told him it was Ford Edge.
Do you know sort of the difference between, if you were to see a Ford Edge at nighttime in a snowstorm, the difference between a Ford Edge and a Jeep Cherokee?
Yes,
What's the difference?
the taillights in the back.
What about it?
Ford Edge is a more round. The whole back facade is a little bit more round. A Jeep Cherokee are more square.
Now, Lolly did not expect him to be able to answer this at all.
When you reviewed data from her phone, did you find a particular artifact of interest?
Yes, I did.
What did you find?
We found a Google search that happened. First of all, the search was how long to die in cold.
We know what the search was.
And it happened at or before 2:27 a.m. Found in the artifacts of that phone.
And so, just to conclude, that's not what you said in your affidavit that was actually filed under pains and penalties of perjury with this court, correct?
Yes, and on that day, that is what my true and proper belief was. Okay, it since further testing, I have found that I now believe that that was probably an automatic one, and if I've caused you any distress, I apologize.
Haven't caused me any distress.
Okay.
Have you ever published peer-reviewed articles and done research in the area of animal bites and scratches?
Yes.
Did you also author or co-author an article called Law Enforcement Canine Dog Bites, Injuries, Complications, and Trends?
Yes.
What is your opinion or conclusion about how these injuries were sustained?
I believe that these injuries were sustained by an animal, possibly a large dog, because of the pattern of the injuries.
You're reaching out or contact in regard to this case. How did that come about?
Okay. I saw an article, I believe it was in the Boston Globe, regarding this case.
And how long had you had a subscription to the Boston Globe at the time that you saw this?
It was either a 6-month subscription or a year.
Now, again, you had testified here just a couple of days ago when I asked you questions about this. Is that right?
Yes.
And wasn't in your testimony just a couple of days ago that the subscription was actually for a year or 18 months?
No.
Now, this first instance when you say you heard about it, how did you hear about it?
Headline from the Boston Globe.
How long had you been a subscriber to the Boston Globe?
I mean, she went to UMass. She went to
Probably
MIT,
a
Lally.
year or 6 months.
She did not say that.
No, I don't believe so. I believe that I said it was a 6 month subscription or a 12-month subscription.
We were there, Lally.
She said 6 months to 12 months. So I don't know why and it doesn't even matter. Like, this is the type of stupid stuff you don't want to do on Cross because it wastes time. It makes you look like a bully. It makes you look like a jerk.
Looking at whether or not the glass could have produced the damage to the rear taillight that you saw, correct?
Correct.
And what did you do in furtherance of making a determination about whether or not that was possible?
Certainly. So myself and one of our lab technicians at ARCA, we designed and developed a pressurized air cannon. So it was capable of firing a projectile such as a drinking glass at the taillight. So it essentially you can think of it kind of as a giant cannon, but it had a barrel, and then there was a valve that would open rapidly, and directly behind that was a pressurized vessel. And depending on the pressure, the PSI of that vessel, would determine essentially the speed at which that glass would be projected into the taillight.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty cool. So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Oh man, I love that. I mean, it's a potato cannon, basically. Wow. Wow. And he's got this big grin.
These guys are Mythbusters.
Built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I love this guy.
So you literally built a cannon?
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I bet he's so much fun to hang out with. And I also, at one time, built a potato gun to shoot out in the pasture. And also, the theory that they came up with about the drinking glass is something that I came up with. And I'm pretty sure that, that is just fate. Look, I have said I'm going to go back and find that damn... I need to find the clips of me saying about the glass. Because it's just proof that me and Crash Daddy number 1 think alike.
It still doesn't mean Karen
What type
Read.
of glass did you use?
So we used a rocks drinking glass. So that's a glass that has a thicker base and a shallower sidewall.
And so what I'm asking, sir, was it a cocktail glass? Was it a pint glass? What kind of drinking glass were we talking?
Lally, he just said we used a rocks glass. Well, what kind of glass was it? Was it a cocktail glass? It's a rocks glass, Lally. That's a type of drinking glass. It is a type of cocktail glass. He literally just said it.
We're going over that.
Having been pushed or possibly been impacted by the subject Lexus and fallen backwards, striking his head. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, so that's another possibility.
Sorry, sir, yes or no?
No, let him answer. Let him answer the question.
So if we're saying that there's enough force if you fall backwards to strike your head and cause that skull fracture, well, he could have slipped and struck his head. The car could have backed up and not known that he was there and nudged him and caused him to fall. I mean, any event that would cause him to fall backwards obviously would result in him striking his head. So there's numerous, almost infinite possibility of different scenarios that could result in that type of an event.
Thanks.
Mr. Jackson? Okay.
Wait. What? Wait, what? That's his end? Oh my God! Lolly, why do you end on you getting humiliated? You mic dropped on yourself.